Praise be Jesus Christ, now and forever. I'm recording this nugget on the feast of St. Martin of Tours, traditionally called Martin Mass. St. Martin, who died at the end of the 4th century, was one of the most popular saints in medieval Europe, with rich traditions surrounding his feast day in many countries. According to the oracle of all information, blessed Wikipedia, the fasting following the feast on Martin Mass went on for 40 days and became, in the end, the origin of Advent. Traditions in England celebrating St. Martin's Day included feasting on goose, lighting fires, and sitting around them until late in the night telling tales. One tradition that struck me as I researched was the Portuguese description of St. Martin's Day as St. Martin's Summer, because it's often a sunny day in what's already winter. Where I'm staying with my mother in the south of England, we've barely seen the sun for several weeks, with just day after day of grey cloud. Yet today, St. Martin's Day, the sun came out, a gift of his summer, for one day. These traditions make a number of points for us to meditate on. How our liturgical life was deeply ingrained into our heritage, and how it shaped what we could call everyday life. The rupture of the Reformation, increasing in speed over the centuries, deepened by the so-called Enlightenment, leaves us now terribly impoverished in an entirely secular world. In a way, we must have our own liturgical Benedict option, to use Rod Dreher's phrase, making the conscious choice to live and celebrate as our ancestors did. We keep just about 2 feasts in the year, Christmas and Easter, when our non-believing friends understand to a certain extent why these liturgical feasts are also celebrations. What fun it would be, and how healthy, for practicing Catholics to invite friends to a Martin Mass party, a fire to sit around and talk, and to explain why we do what we do. Or we can celebrate the great fire on St. John the Baptist Day in the summer. There are probably as many traditions as there are saints' days. This is not about living an imaginary past, but about recapturing ways that make us not only more human, but letting us really be shaped by the liturgical seasons of the Church. That leads us into the second point of why these traditional celebrations and feasts and fasts are important, and that is allowing the actual seasons of the year to meld and make us. You might remember I introduced you to a book last year called Seasons of the World by the historian Eleanor Parker. It was certainly my book of the year. It was about how the Anglo-Saxons saw the different seasons and the poems and prose they wrote. The physical seasons and liturgical celebrations were inextricably linked, which is why, for example, even though the Anglo-Saxons saw winter beginning on November the 7th, a day such as St. Martin's Day could be seen as the start of the winter. In a world, especially in a city, where in a sense whatever the season is doesn't really matter, if one is cocooned by the modern supply of heat, light, refrigeration and air conditioning, it's no surprise that liturgical and physical seasons have less and less power to speak to us. Yet a few moments in the blistering cold or the burning heat remind us quite powerfully that something more powerful than us exists. Parker, in her book, speaks of the dread the Anglo-Saxons felt with the coming of winter, with the feast of St. John the Baptist in late summer signalling the shortening of days, and then with Christmas, the joy coming with the light of Christ, and darkness retreating. Shall we make fasting and feasting and living the seasons great again? Brethren, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, like a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour.